Thank you for being here. For the second year in a row, we're going to be raising the pride flag officially for the township, and we've chosen this location this year because this is where the first ever Montclair Pride Festival is happening next Saturday, June 11th. I want to thank all of my colleagues for being here. Many dignitaries behind me. We have Superintendent Jonathan Pons, County Commissioner Brendan Gill, Deputy Mayor Bill Herlock, Mayor Sean Spiller, Councilwoman Robin Schlager, Councilman Bob Russo, Reginald Bledsoe from Essex County, the new Director of LGBTQ Affairs for Essex County. Did I miss anybody? And I know we have Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill is on her way as well. I'm going to read a statement and then I'm going to hand it over to the mayor to read part of the proclamation from the township. Please remember the purpose in pride. Now, as like in so much of human history, the LGBTQIA+ community is in a fight to exist, to be taught about, to be allowed to love and commit, and to just simply be. We dance and celebrate joyfully as we should after winning the battles we've had to fight just to simply exist today. And with the war far from over and with increasing intensity, it's never been more important to affirm each other, especially our youth. We are every age and every race and every color and creed and nationality and religion and level of ability. And we love you, our allies. And we stand with every other marginalized person in this world in solidarity. The rainbow is our symbol because all of us existing together in love is pure beauty. We are, all together, what creates light. Thank you. Mayor Spiller.
Thank you, Councilman. And I will simply about this. Thank you, Councilman, and certainly I will also just say as I read part of our proclamation here, certainly recognizing, honoring, celebrating the month. I want to say that as we come out to activities such as this, raising the flag today, and certainly the wonderful activities we have planned here in Montclair, big congratulations to Out Montclair. Certainly Councilman Bledsoe and everyone involved, really exciting. I know we are all pleased that residents are going to be able to enjoy themselves so much around town, enjoying the festivities, and so many from out of town as well. But I think as Councilman Bledsoe noted, it's important for us to remember and recognize the struggle and the fight and also the work of why we're here. Yes, celebrating and recognizing a month is an opportunity to come together, to be seen and to be heard. To make sure that our voices are not silenced as we say that until every individual feels welcomed in every community, not just ours, our job is not yet done. There is so much work to do we see in society, so many issues we are currently always trying to address, whether it be gun violence, whether it be acceptance, whether it be voting rights, whether it be all the different pieces that we have to keep in the struggle towards justice. We as a community always stand united to say, we celebrate our diversity. We celebrate that commitment to making us a better union. We celebrate the work and the efforts and know that we will not give up. We will stand shoulder to shoulder, arm to arm in the fight until we are victorious. So it is my pleasure to be here along with my council colleagues and other distinguished guests, as have already been noted by Councilman Bledsoe, just to state that whereas Montclair is a diverse and inclusive community whose residents believe in safety, prosperity, and equality and hope for all, and whereas we recognize the human rights of all citizens and actively support an end to all forms of prejudice and discrimination. Whereas our LGBTQ+ residents have made significant and important contributions to the history and quality of life in Montclair and throughout Essex County. Whereas we recognize a number of other accomplishments. Now, therefore, the Mayor and Council of the Township of Montclair do hereby proclaim June as LGBTQ+ Pride Month in the Township of Montclair. We urge all people in Montclair to join LGBTQ+ advocacy and actions, promote diversity and inclusion, create welcoming and affirming spaces for LGBTQ+ youth, trans, non-binary, persons of color, and everybody to be visible, outspoken allies, and upstanders against any injustice, because an injustice against one is an injustice against all. So I thank you again, everybody. I appreciate you being out here to have some fun, to celebrate, but to commit to doing the work that we have to do to be successful. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Brendan Gill.
Thank you, Councilman Yacobelis. Congratulations to you and to Out Montclair. I am honored to be here with you as an ally and as a supporter both of this event today and of the next couple of weeks, and everything that we need to do to continue to make sure that all voices are heard and protected and supported. To Mayor Spiller, to my colleagues on the Montclair Council, Councilman Russo, Councilman Schlager, Councilman Perlock, to Jason, it's great to see you. To Dr. Pons, it's great to see you as always. You know, and I'm going to get to my good friend Reginald in a second. I think at the county level, and as a lifelong Montclair resident, when you have the opportunity to serve, doing what we're doing here today is important. But what's also important is our actions. And I'm proud to say here at the County of Essex that we have with us today, he was acknowledged, the first in the history of our county, Executive Director of the Office of LGBTQ Affairs. And we can, let's give a round of applause for that. I believe, are we the first or second? Second. Okay, so we weren't first in this. We always see putting Essex County first, but we were the second, which, and we'll talk about that later. We'll figure out why that happened later, but that's to me what it's all about. It's about actually real action, taking our positions in public service to help all communities, to make sure that those communities are represented, supported, and celebrated. And that's what we're going to do here in Montclair over the next 2 weeks. So again, congratulations to you, Councilman Yacobelis, and the work of the organization. I'm looking forward to participating not in all 25 events that I saw on the calendar. I'm gonna try to make as many as I can, but it really is it's really great to see that we're going to be able to enjoy this together as a community, and at a time when more than ever it's very, very much needed. So thank you again for having me, and all the best.
And on that note, I'd like to welcome Reginald Bledsoe.
Good afternoon. First, I just would like to thank Mayor Spiller, members of council, Commissioner Gill, for giving me the opportunity to address my Montclair family. Pride is a very unique time of year. As we celebrate and come together about our diversity, we must keep in mind that there are still struggles that we're experiencing in this country. And as much progress we've made, we have a number of elected officials, particularly in Washington, that want to roll back so much progress we've made. And thank God in New Jersey, we don't have to worry about that too much under the leadership of our governor. But there are places in the state where hate is brewing. And we must continue to host flag raisings, host events, and letting everyone know that our diversity is our strength. And on that note, I send greetings on behalf of our county executive, Joseph DiVincenzo, who always champions the rights of all people. And I'm glad to work under a leader who allows the LGBTQ community to have a seat at the table of power. And we may be number 2, but this office is unique because I do officially serve as a cabinet member. And when decisions are being made, Joe and his team are looking to me to give that perspective of the LGBTQ community. So to my family in Montclair, you have my full support, Councilman Yacobelis. To members of council, I'm here to support you. I probably will try to make all 25 events, because that's the job. But I'm happy to be here to support, and thank you all for coming out today.
I'm also really excited, and I think it's important, you know, and you're going to see Congresswoman Sherrill's going to be here soon. Congressman Payne sends his regrets but wishes he was here. I know we have a representative, Terrell Page, from State Senator Nia Gill's office. One of the important things too, I think, yes. to telegraph to the community is that every level of government is represented here today and has your backs. And I'm so excited about that. We have such a unique moment in our history where all of our reps at every level support this community. And in that spirit, we now have a separate school government in Montclair. And I wanted to invite Dr. Pons, as the superintendent of the school district, to speak about that government and that institution's role in LGBTQ equality. So thank you, Dr. Pons, and welcome.
I want to say thank you for inviting me to speak. We at Montclair Public Schools stand in solidarity. I want to say it again. We at Montclair Public Schools stand in solidarity. Our hiring practices, where we treat our peers, where we treat our people who work with us, will be inclusive. It will stand for what is right. We stand together. We are with all of us. All of us, no matter who you are, we are here for you. I want to thank you for allowing me to be here in your presence to speak about this. We all belong in the same world, in the same community. No one has the right to be discriminated against, treated differently because of anything. Thank you for allowing me to be here, and together we will move forward.
And I'm going to embarrass him and bring him up anyway, but Jason Gleason from the Business Improvement District. They are a presenting sponsor of Pride this year and couldn't have been a better partner from the very, very, very beginning, day one. How can we help? How can we collaborate and have been just the best partners you can ever ask for? So I'd like to invite Jason Gleason to share a few words.
Fair enough. I guess I didn't really plan this, but listen, it's been a supreme pleasure to work with Peter and Marie and everybody who's been putting this week's or even 2 weeks of events together, and obviously culminating in what is going to be the most kick-ass festival in Montclair. I guess I can't say that because Jazz would probably be mad at me, but it's been such a pleasure to work with these people, and obviously this is a community of people who are huge in this town, right? We've seen it. Everybody's sort of come out of the woodwork and shown their support. Our businesses have shown their support. There are so many allies in this town, in this county, and the amount of love and support that everybody has shown just in the sort of, we put out the call to vendors. Within minutes, everybody was like, yep, sign me up, what can I do? It's been a beautiful thing to watch, and it's been a beautiful thing to help organize. And I just feel sort of like honored to have helped out Montclair, and my staff and my board to help out Montclair put this together and see it realized. I'm really looking forward to next Saturday and just sort of seeing it in actuality. So thank you so much, Peter, and thank you so much, Out Montclair, for giving me the opportunity and giving my organization the opportunity to help you bring this thing to life, and having me here today. So yeah, thank you.
And Jason, you're in charge of whatever those things they shoot into the clouds that start or stop rain. That's what we're going to have to do for Pride, okay? That's it.
Sacrificing chickens and all kinds of stuff down in the office.
I want to take a moment and acknowledge and thank our Township Managers here, Timothy Stafford. Thank you, Mr. Stafford. Everything you're doing to help this all happen. Didn't have to ask twice. We had a flag ready to go, and the crew's raising flags all over town, I think within 30 minutes of asking. So thank you so much for that. I want to invite Deputy Mayor Herlock up to share a few words as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. I wasn't going to speak, but as Commissioner Gill and I were just joking over there on the side stage when they're looking for more time as we wait for the Congresswoman, they finally picked me, but I appreciate that, Peter. But in all seriousness, Peter took us to a completely I'm going to go in a different direction. I think these are great events. I look forward to attending a lot of these. But Peter really took the town, and I've been on the council now for 10 years, to a completely different level when he instituted a lot of these events and got our accreditation up and our rating up. And really, that's what Montclair is about. So I would like all of you to join me in thanking Peter for the work that he's done to accomplish this, in all seriousness. Well done, Peter. And it's exactly what embodies Montclair and what we all stand for. So with that, I'm going to hand it back over to our MC, and thanks again.
I'd like to ask my council colleague, fellow councilor at large, Bob Russo.
You know, the new Essex County coordinator, director for LGBTQ affairs was my student at Montclair State a few years ago. He got all A's in political science. So I'm really proud to be here today with Reginald Bledsoe, who's now working full-time on this at Essex County. And I know that the A's I gave him motivated him. But you should know that the person who's gotten us all to this point is my colleague at-large council member who got the highest vote last time. He's been beating me out for the first time, and that's Peter Yacobelis. So I want to have everybody again, as Deputy Mayor Herlock said, congratulate Peter, but ask Reginald and Peter together to keep us on the right track, because the United States is on the wrong track right now. You all know what's going on. You've heard the things I've said. We're having a terrible problem in Washington, and there's even some problems right here in Montclair with some people who do not believe in the rights for everyone and who want to stop progress and turn back the clock for women and others. So we're going to fight that together. I'm here to work with Peter and the council to make sure Montclair remains the progressive, forward-thinking community that we've been a model for the country. But we've got to fight the bad guys in Washington. Thank you.
As I'm taking that all in, I want to give it back to my team. And two of our incredible leaders throughout Montclair are with us here. Marie Cottrell, who's the director of Pride, and Andy Pankey, our creative director, which, if you like our stunning branding and marketing and merchandise, that's the guy. I see we've been joined by another colleague of mine, Councilwoman Price Abrams. Please come up for a few words.
Thank you, and Councilor Yacobelis, for the extraordinary coming together. This whole initiative, I know, is a commitment out of a personal passion, but a much more global one as well, and the support of the whole council and our bid, our colleagues in every way, shape, and form. I think, as Councilor Russo was just saying, we're living in moments where we need to mark time and space and declare what our values are, and thank you for the leadership in this regard and so many other ways. Welcome to the Third Ward, I'll say, as a privilege that I represent this part of town. And well, thank you all for being here, and so glad to lend my support and be here with you as well.
You know, what I had said earlier was we're at such a unique time where, for us, for the LGBTQ plus community, we have local, county, state, and federal reps that all have our backs, and how precious and how rare that is. And I just have to say, there are a lot of members of Congress, and I think you're not just one of the most effective, but also one of the kindest and most authentic. So I just have to thank you so much for having our backs, always, whether it's the Equality Act, whether even before you were in Congress, the positions that you took on issues. There's never been anything that I've had to ask for that she didn't say yes to. She has had our backs in every issue you can possibly imagine. Employment discrimination, housing discrimination, don't ask, don't tell reversal, Matthew Shepard hate crimes funding, the full gamut. So just can't thank you enough for everything that you do for us and for this country. So please invite you to share a few words.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'll put it real close. Peter wanted me to speak for about an hour and a half, right? Yeah, sure. Look how kind you are. I'll tell you guys something I was thinking of earlier. I was with some women veterans, and a lot of our women veterans don't identify as veterans because they've had sexual assault or sexual harassment problems in the military and get out and don't feel that connected. And I was telling them about my time in the military, and one thing that's really, I brought up, along with some of the other issues, I'll never forget standing at an all-hands meeting when everyone in the brigade was there, and a gentleman stood up and asked the Chief of Naval Operations, "When are you going to have the courage to lift, don't ask, don't tell?" And that night, that gentleman had to have people posted outside his door because a gang of midshipmen was outside saying they were going to beat him up. That was in the 90s. And so I know we're all scared about our rights now. I know we're all worried about the rollbacks and so many protections and what that might mean to us. But I do want us to take a moment during this month to think of how far we've come, to think of how much progress we have made. You know, the leadership in the House of Representatives saves the first 10 pieces of legislation in Congress for the biggest priorities that Congress has. And H.R. 5 was the Equality Act, which we passed through the House. So if you take nothing else away from this meeting and this flag raising, I think you should take away this. I've got your back. I always will. I'll always be there for you. I'll always be a champion for everyone here. And if there's anything more I can do, I'll do it. And when you're feeling down, like we're not making the progress we want to make, just come talk to me and I'll remind you of all the progress we've made so far and all the progress we're about to make. So thank you all so much for having me today.
Thank you, everybody.